I was offered to come and work at ABT in the utilization review. I would look through all the files and then I would present the patient to the insurance companies. And so it was a good place to start because I really got to see people's stories and got to see what people were going through. And I also got to see, well, maybe they should have asked this and maybe they should have asked this. And what about this? And so I became more intrigued. And then I started doing therapy with ABT and it's been amazing. A lot of people come and they realize that it's not just about getting sober because it's deeper than that. They really have to focus on what the root is. People define themselves by the things that they do. And it's all about changing your behaviors. And it's about really diving into, why would I wake up one day and just want to use? That's not something I planned. Some people have grown up with parents and families that have substance abuse in their family. Why would you know any different? You start helping them recognize themselves. I think it's really important for people to identify who they are. And you have a lot of people who say, I don't know who I am anymore. And I say, well, where'd you go? You've been here the whole time. You just used. So what's the difference? The wheels start turning at that point and they think, who were you before you started using? What about that person did you not like? What about that person did you like? What about that person would you like to see continue to grow? And we take that piece of themselves that they do remember and we build on that. And we talk about the things that they enjoy. A lot of people go through life and they just do what they think that they're supposed to do or what their parents think they're supposed to do or what their families have done. They kind of try to follow suit. Sometimes when you say, what is it that you actually want to do? A lot of times you can turn that into something that's extremely positive for that person and provides them with fulfillment. People live through their lives a lot of times with the lack of fulfillment. And when you give somebody that hope, it means so much. When you see someone who comes into ABT, and there's been so many instances when they're outside and they're ready to jump over that fence and they're laying on the ground and they've got their face in the dirt and they're crying and they don't want to be here, or they come into session and they're so beat down, and you give them that glimmer of hope and you motivate them and you empower them and you tell them that they are worth it. It's okay to be unapologetically you and don't define yourself by the things that you do, because we see them grow from the residential, now it's the detox, but you see them go through all these processes and then you come down to the outpatient level of care and it's like, that is not the person. That's not the person who walked in here. And then you continue to empower them. You continue to help them reach their goals. And just watching them grow, that's everything. And it doesn't feel good all the time, especially not in the beginning. I always tell people, if you want to leave, tell me why. If you can't explain to me why you want to leave, then you probably shouldn't leave. They want to leave because they're scared, because it's something that's different. It means that I actually have to be vulnerable and I have to deal with things that I haven't had to deal with. I don't want to put that on somebody and say that they came into treatment and that they just want to go use. If they want to use, that's okay, because they have an addiction. We're still going to love you, but we're not going to hold you here. And when you choose to come back, know that we'll receive you non-judgmentally. There's that hope there. We'll always welcome you. When I think it clicks for somebody is when I'm sitting in a session and the tears start flowing and the snot starts going and they look at me and they say, I didn't know. That's when I know that they heard me. That's when I know that there's that hope there. That's the ticket. That's when the work starts, because now they're intrigued. They're curious about what it is that you're talking about. We can talk about self-esteem. We can talk about boundaries. We can talk about all these things. People are going to be like, okay, yeah, I've heard about that. I know what that is. But unless you hit that core piece and you really find out the root of what people have going on, you can't really pull out what it is that they need. And the biggest thing that I always share with my patients is there's going to be a lot of things that you learn at ABT that you feel like you don't need. And that's fine. Take what you need and leave what you don't. Stop trying to understand what it is. Stop trying to fix whatever your son or daughter has going on. I think when people feel forced, it makes it worse. It makes them anxious. It makes them angry because there's judgment behind it. Not intentional, but there's judgment behind it. I think sometimes it's best to just love them and let them know that you're there for them and let them know what's available. And it's important for our families to plant the seed. And once they plant that seed, all the things that they instilled in their children from childhood is going to come out in their decision making. And it's got to come out in their timing. And for those people who are in a dangerous place, I think it's important to push. I think it's also important to educate yourself on the disease of addiction. The biggest thing that I hear is people don't understand. What we do at ABT is we plant the seed. We don't threaten. I don't have to understand, and I'm not supposed to understand. I just need to have an understanding. And my understanding is that you're going through something that compares to no one else because everyone has their own story. Always know that no matter what it is that you're going through, there's always someone who can help you. When our patients walk into that door, and it doesn't matter who's greeting them, somebody is always greeting them with a smile. We like to hug here. We're always going to make them feel welcome. And once they've been here for an hour, they're never going to get rid of us.